So this is a map of North America, excuse me. And so here is a map of the world to show you this is North America. And I did go travel halfway across the world to a country called Laos to get some references of some caves. It has some of the most remote caves in the world. And what I mean by remote, it's practically untouched. Just to show you where Laos is, and this is North America, you've got to go across the Pacific Ocean, and you end up here. And now Laos is a landlocked country between Thailand and Vietnam, and Vientiane is the capital. And so I went from Vientiane, the capital, because it's easy to get through, to Vang Vieng, which is a very beautiful city with lots and lots of great landscaping and caves. So this is the city, and I stayed overnight on this side of the town, and the caves are on the left side of the river. So just to start us off, here is how the day started. It was a 2-day trek once I got into Laos, and I woke up around 6 o'clock, and every morning you are awakened by some monks who are coming around, and the locals give food to the monks so they have food for the day. I thought this was a pretty interesting moment of young and old. But that morning I did get on and made my way to breakfast, where I saw this little kitten who was, a few kittens were having lunch, breakfast as well. So got onto a minibus and went on our way over to the caves. So the caves are about 2 hours from Vientiane, the capital, and there is lots sorts of interesting things to see, lotus flowers. It's a very poor country, but as I was traveling, started getting closer to Vang Vieng, and that's where you can see those wonderful mountains. So once we arrived, got across that river, and crossing the river through that wonderful bridge, getting over and hiking up. Because it's a very remote area, it used to be a tourist area, I'm sure, and there's our tour guide. It pretty much abandoned. So once we got to the opening, only 2 brave souls, myself and another, we went into the cave after realizing that we did not have any flashlights. We were unprepared for this. So we get down. We are just using the light from our cell phones and the light from my LCD screen on my digital camera. So here's some of the flashes from the interior of the cave. At this point, I am a little bit limited in where I can go, and started running out of reference images. And there's my friend there who joined me. And there's that camera that I was using as a flashlight. So, I mean, it wasn't probably the best prepared expedition, but I made the best of it as best as I could. At this point now, I'm getting to a part where it's going to be difficult for us to cross over. It's a little bit of a mini lake. So, at that point, we decided to maybe regroup and come back the next day. So this is the morning from the hotel. The hotel we stayed at, it was like $6 a night, and there's that minibus that we took and rented. That morning, they got some people going to do some work on the farms, and here's a wonderful breakfast. Getting back over across to the caves through this bridge, and some of the pathway was flooded. I didn't think we were going to get across, but we still, our courageous driver got us across. The beautiful, beautiful scenery and the dirt roads, a random turkey, just randomly there, and some more monks. So we get across, and there's a little bit of a lagoon, I guess, from the mountain water. Beautiful, beautiful blue. And getting across, getting a flashlight this time. This place was a little bit more prepared for us, and start climbing up this mountain. Finally get in with our flashlight. It's a huge opening, so there's a lot of light. You can see that girl across just to see the context of the size of this cave. Good, maybe 100 feet, and some of the statues there on the side. A little close with it there. Really interesting space, and this is kind of where I got most of my inspiration for the cave, for Death of the Different. There's some green there, lots of rocks, different colored rocks from red to lighter gray, slight blue. The cave ceiling very high, and a lot of brown too. Random animal, I don't know what that is. Anyways, we're getting a really good first-hand look inside. We don't really have a tour guide except our driver, who took us around inside. A lot of open spaces, a lot of stalagmites, stalactites, whatever it's called. Anyway, lots of really interesting shapes and forms that I ended up using for the film, for the cave. This ended up being the majority of the cave was textured by this single image that you see here. And some of these cave spots were just abyss. And here's an example of that, where it's just a good 30, 50, 100 feet down between some of the cracks. There's our guide. I wouldn't go in too deep just because I sort of feel like a maze going inside there and not knowing where to go and how to come out. So it's just needs a lot of common sense to kind of head back or try to go as far as deep as we could while still seeing the opening. So there's a couple people there, and there's our driver. Absolutely fearless. Absolutely fearless. I was unable to even get close to that, to where he was standing, because really, I mean, if he were to fall, that's quite a drop. So there you have it. That was the expedition that gave me my ideas and references for the cave interior. I hope you found that interesting and gave you some insight into a unique country such as Laos.